Hello, my gorgeous group ones. Welcome to your reading. Thank you for joining me here today. We're going to be getting into what are your natural God-given talents? What are your star qualities? Things like that. What are you just really good at? Naturally good at. Okay, so since we've been doing this recently, we're going to stick with it. These are all the decks that I'll be using in today's video. They're placed behind you all cutesy like to provide some kind of aesthetic grind, okay? So because I'm, I guess, pointing that out, there could be something here about you guys being good at aesthetics or looking good, making other people look good. You're good at beauty, fashion, makeup, art, creation, things like that, okay? Because I don't know, I'm starting to really like this. And it just came out of nowhere. Like, just put the boxes back there, you know, so it's not just a blank table. And I like things that are cute to look at. So this is not just for y'all, it's for me too. Looking at a brown table for like who knows how many hours upon hours can get tedious for me as someone who likes to look at pretty things. Libra moon here, okay? So that could definitely be a vibe coming through for you guys. You like to look at pretty things. And sometimes that means having to put your sleeves up and make things pretty yourself, okay? So that could definitely be a good thing. Interesting. That could definitely be a thing coming through, okay? You guys could like accessories. I touched the bracelets and they made noise. Things like that are coming through, so that's definitely a vibe. Esthetician, hair, makeup, nails, things like that could be what you're really good at, or just natural gifts that you were given that other people can't do, but you were given I'm hearing grace to do, which is funny, okay? Because not everybody, whether you are a professional at these things, can just get up one day and like, you know, want to do their nails or do their makeup. You know, it's hard for some people and then it's easy for others, okay? So you dress well, you always look good, you could always smell good. You're giving me the girlies on social media who are always like getting questions about, oh my gosh, what's your skincare routine? How did you do your makeup? Need a tutorial? Like, how did you make your nails like that? How did you get your outfit like that? Where do you shop? Where do you buy your stuff? Like, that could be questions you're always bombarded with. You know what I mean? Or who drew that thing? Who made that shirt? Like, where did you get that shirt from? Oh, I made it. Oh, really? Oh my gosh, you should start a thing. You should start a shop or open up a store, or whatever. You're naturally good at these things, right? You're giving me those girls. It came to mind because I was thinking about how I was coming home yesterday and I was seeing a video by Leah, who was on season 6 of Love Island, right? And she just launched a new perfume. And she was like, you guys are always asking me, how do I make my makeup last all, not makeup, excuse me. Makeup could be a thing, like I said, because makeup does have to last all day for my girlies out there that wear makeup to work and all that stuff. Or just every day, right? She's like, you guys have been asking me, how do I make my perfume, my scent last longer? And then she gave a brief like tutorial on how to make your perfume last longer, right? So things like that. People say you smell good, you look good, you know, that kind of energy. You can dance really well too. You're a natural dancer. You're just natural creator kind of energy. So you could definitely be someone who does create things in life. It doesn't have to be around aesthetics or looks or fashion, but it could be music, you know, it could be choreography, it could be movies, it could be books, it could be anything, but your mind naturally leans creative, right? I think it would maybe be like right side, your right brain, I think is the thing. Like you're either left brained or you're right brained, which means you use more of one than the other. So you see life in color, whereas people see life in numbers, you know what I mean? Logic versus creativity. And you know, I'm hearing whimsy, so maybe you could be someone who's also very whimsical, and that's something that comes quite naturally to you. And people are kind of like, how do you always see the brighter side of life and you believe in magic and da-da-da-da? And you're kind of like, I don't know, I was just born with it. I'm hearing maybe it's magic, or maybe it's Maybelline. So makeup is definitely a thing coming through, okay? And now I'm hearing my lip gloss is popping, my lip gloss is cool. So you guys could also really like wear lip gloss. Your lip gloss is always popping kind of energy. I'm hearing lip combos could be a thing as well. People are always asking you like, how did you do your lip combo? What did you use? Like you're definitely giving that person, if you were to be on social media, people would be asking, how do you get your skin so clear? How do you get your makeup to stay? What did you do to make your makeup look like that? Kind of thing. Give us a tutorial. Give us a toot. Give us a toot. You know what I mean? But also I was hearing a song that made me think of dancing. What was the song? She's from Texas, I can tell by the way he's still stepping around the room. I was listening to that song before I went on break. It's Choosing Texas by, how did I forget her name so quickly? Ella Langley, okay? So that song had me like in a groove. So you can be someone that's very groovy, or you always know how to catch the beat. Whereas some people don't know how to catch the beat. I'm not saying a specific race or anything, but some people can catch a beat, can catch a wine, right? You throw it to them, they throw it back and catch it. You know what I mean? Or they catch it and throw it back. Some people can't really do all that. So you can definitely be someone like really easy. You walk cool. You can like hop into a dance really quickly and make it look cool. You know, you're just giving cool energy. You're naturally someone who people gravitate towards when it comes to beauty and fashion and art and creation and music and things like that. Okay, so let's get into it. Whew. We have the Hermit coming through for you guys. Your natural gifts, introspection. Yeah, it's like seeing the little things that other people miss is also one of your gifts. Because here, bro, don't piss me off. I don't know why this phone acting up these days. He's from Texas, I can tell. The Hermit. So some of you could be Virgos, which is attention to detail. Exactly, that makes a lot of sense. Instead of him like holding a lantern in front of him and trying to find the way, he's just looking at the butterfly and appreciating all the small things in life, the firefly. You know, so you could definitely be someone like very delicate. You take care of and or care for nature, and people really like, I guess, the way, you know how some people struggle to like want to be outside and love nature. Like I said, the way some people also struggle to see the whimsy and the beauty in life. You're someone who can easily see those things. And it's not hard for you to see the beautiful side of life, okay? Or to find beauty in things that aren't always pretty, right? So maybe you're someone who's good at makeovers because you see the beauty in people that they don't see themselves or that other people don't see in them, period, right? Because the first thing people want to say is, oh, if you don't have this and that, you're just ugly. No, there are certain things you can play up about your beauty and your looks and how you dress that would make you look and feel better. Instead of just saying, I was born without this, that means I'm ugly or I'm not attractive. Like, you know, and you're kind of like, no, it just needs a little shaping. That's what I'm hearing. Not Barbie coming through. It just needs a little shaping. And then when you get to town and when you get done, they look completely different, y'all, okay? So you're definitely giving that friend in the movie who's making up all your friends in the TV show in real life, who's making up all their friends and giving their friends like advice around beauty, okay? And just the world in general as well. Okay, so the Hermit card. Like I said, it also represents introspection and looking like really deep within yourself. So you're really good at like being very self-aware, okay? I'm hearing you're someone who can like, this may sound weird, but I just like learned not so long ago, like maybe like a few years ago, that some people don't have thoughts. They don't hear their voice or voices in their head. And I'm like, what? They don't have an imagination. They don't see pictures or anything. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, what do you mean? You're the people who hear the voices in your head. You can hear yourself talk, you know, you hear your thoughts essentially. And maybe sometimes those thoughts can turn into pictures and you see things in your mind as well. And I think that is a sign of creation when you're able to see something so clearly in your mind and put it on paper, or just, you know, be able to be in your mind by yourself and have a grand old time, see movies, right? What is it called? I'm being reminded of the episode of iCarly where Sam starts reading and she's like, oh my God, it's like a movie in your head. You know what I mean? It's kind of giving that. You always have all these ideas and these things that come to you, and people will look at you like, what do you mean you see pictures in your mind, you know? And you're like, yeah, I just see visuals. And you're like, I've never seen a visual before in my life. And you're like, oh, well, I don't know what you want me to say, but you know, there was something else that was coming through. Yes, it was also reminding me of how when I was younger, it was always hard for me to understand how people could play with Barbies and like make up this whole world in their head that obviously wasn't there, you know? Kids that had imagination always kind of baffled me because it was hard for me to grasp. Like, you're sitting there playing with Barbies knowing that nothing is real. You know, I feel like I was a Squidward in that one episode of SpongeBob where SpongeBob and Patrick are playing in this box. And Squidward is in his house, minding his business, hearing all these sounds. And he's like coming out, looking out his window, like, what is that? And all he sees is a box. And then he goes and like, you know, investigates, and he sees SpongeBob and Patrick in the box. And they're like, imagination. So all these sounds and all these things that he's hearing are coming from their imagination. And Squidward is like, what the heck do you mean? This is just a box. And then SpongeBob and Patrick spend the whole episode trying to teach Squidward or help him realize that imagination is a powerful thing. It's a powerful tool to help you have fun, to make the ordinary extraordinary. That's that's also one of your gifts. You make the ordinary extraordinary, okay? Something so out of the ordinary. You're out of the ordinary. Anyway, let's not get into music. Back to the episode of SpongeBob. And by the end of the episode, they help him, I guess, interpret or find his imagination, because he's able to go in the box and then have fun and start, doing all the things that they were doing, and he finally understands. But when I was younger, I'm like, yuck, I can't just sit there and play with a doll, and I know it's not real. I didn't like Barbies, I didn't like dolls. I liked having them, more so doing their hair, dressing them up, but it was never like, oh, let me pretend she's riding around this car that's not moving, I'm moving it, and she's going somewhere. That just always made me cringe, even at my little age. Even at my small age, that stuff made me cringe. I'm like, girl, like, you're making the car move. Stop playing in my face. It was hard, very hard for me. I've grown from then, okay? But it's reminding me of that. You're the person who kind of always had that imagination, okay? And I feel like I was quite imaginative, but when it came to like writing and poetry when I was younger, not playing with Barbies, I feel like I was too grown for that. Okay, but anyway, let's keep going. Please, Spirit, for the collective. We have the King of Wands, okay? So you're very charismatic as well, okay? You can naturally find the charm, and charm people is also another gift that you were given, okay? You can naturally charm people. You make them come around to your way of thinking. Like, you just have a gravitas to you. You know what I mean? People kind of want to be around you, right? You have the Six of Wheels. You're someone who's quite generous. The Six of Pentacles kind of always gives me, you treat everyone the same. Like, you would treat what is it called? It's the same. You treat a janitor the same way you would treat a CEO. Is the kind of energy, one of your gifts. And just know that that is a gift, because not everybody has that, mindset. You shake the hand of a CEO the same way you would shake the hand of a janitor. Like, they're all people at the end of the day, and that's something because you are someone who's quite introspective, okay? And I think because you are so, I guess, considerate of other people and what they may have been through and their life experience, because you're so sensitive with the Hermit card, you're so sensitive of even the smallest of bugs, is you feel their pain, you may feel their happiness, you feel their energy. I'm hearing their vibrancy, and I just saw 1212. That could be important to somebody. That is what makes you different, unique. It's like what makes us one of your gifts, okay? And I don't want nobody to hear these things and say, those aren't gifts. They are gifts, okay? Thank you. The present is a gift. The present is a gift, and I don't want to take for granted the time that you have given me. Cause Lord only knows another day is not really guaranteed. So every time you kiss me like it is the last time. Every time you kiss me like you'll never see me again. What song is that? Never See Me Again? It's an Alicia Keys song. That could definitely be like your mantra, your anthem, that song right there. You don't want to forget the present is a gift, and you don't take advantage of the time you have with people, Beautiful. You're also very charitable, very giving. You're kind-hearted is a thing. And now I'm thinking of a new reader that I found a few months ago, Kind Heart Tarot. She's the sweetest little girl. Oh my God. I know she's not a little girl, but she just gives me cute little girl energy, like cutesy vibes. I like her. I tend to gravitate towards readers who are very chill, which is very funny because I'm the opposite of chill. I'm very chaotic and very loud, and it's always all over the place. So it always baffles me or amuses me in some kind of way. But I always tend to gravitate towards the soft-spoken, the slow-speaking readers, when I'm the complete opposite. I think I'm the complete opposite anyway. I'm breaking into the song, I'm laughing, making jokes, making the whole thing funny and entertaining, I guess, in a way. And they just sit there and read the cards, and it's not boring, but it's like a peaceful. When your mind is as chaotic as mine, then I do need some peace. Okay, my mind can get a little bit crazy up here, I always need sound, music, things to keep me, entertained or locked in, or else I get lost in my head. And just being locked in a moment with them, watching a video, and it's being very peaceful and calm. I need that peaceful and calm sometimes, because I'm the chaos, okay, sometimes. So it's kind of giving me that energy. Maybe you are the person who can't sit still, is always singing, bursting into song. And that's also another one of your gifts. Because I think it's like, I don't want to say it's ADHD, but it could be like adjacent to that, where you just have like a very big, vibrant personality, King of Wands. And that's one of your gifts, because people gravitate towards that and they want to be around you and they want to give to you, you know, the same way you give to them, okay? So you definitely inspire that in people. Like, oh, she gave me something, I have to give her something back, you know? People don't want to just take from you. That's also a gift that you were given. People don't want to just always take. They feel the need to give back, like in reverence and respect to, almost like in worship too sometimes as well. I'm hearing praise and worship. You could definitely bring out those vibes of people. They just want to praise and worship, like being your friend, being in your life. They're very grateful to have you, so they want to show you, okay? Here we have the Three of Wheels. That's what I'm saying. They want to help you. You're also a helper. I feel like all the energy you give out to the world, the universe, always make sure that it's given back to you tenfold, is what I just heard. So when you give to people, they make sure that someone else will come and give to you tenfold, okay? Because it's something you do out of the kindness of your heart, not because you want anything back. So your empathy is also a big thing as well. Like I said, you're going to treat a small little firefly the same way you would treat a grown human being, even though the firefly can't talk, even though the firefly can't give you anything. All of us are like little instruments and tools in the, you know, overarching hierarchy of the world. You know, yes, there's a animal kingdom. Yes, there's a food chain. Yes, there's a intelligence, you know, whatever. But fireflies are just as important as humans, okay? And you treat them accordingly. Thank you. I appreciate your service, okay? When we have the Three of Pentacles, you're also really hard worker. You like to help people. With the Six of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles, a lot of work, creative energy, spunk, charisma. You're able to risk people. That's the gift of gab. You know, you have like a very like vibrant aura that just naturally attracts people to you, and it's like 160, you're actually nice and kind. That kind of, like I said, makes someone give back to you in some kind of way. Like, thank you for having me in your presence. Let me give you this token of my appreciation. So you could definitely be someone who always gets things from people, or things always seem to work out in your favor. You just have that energy to you. We have the Fool. This is a beautiful energy. Stop it. So if we're reading this in like layman terms, you know, in a generic way, the Fool is someone who's always able to chase after their direct impulse, what I just heard. Like whenever something comes to mind, you have the impulse to go after it, you know? So maybe you don't have much impulse control, or maybe you do. You know, maybe you're able to control what you go after, but as soon as you get a hit or intuitive hit, you're able to go after things, or other people may stop and think and marinate and go back and forth and not know and get confused. You get a hit and you follow it. You get a dream and a passion, you go after it. You're not scared. With the King of Wands coming through here, or with this card, this makes you someone who's very powerful, a very powerful manifester and initiator. You're definitely going to be cardinal sign energy, which is Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Aries, Libra, Capricorn. Aries is the fire, Libra is the air, Capricorn is the earth, so water. What is the cardinal water? Cancer. There we go. So you could definitely be one of those signs. You kick off the seasons. You start off the seasons. You are able to just jump and do things and make things happen for yourself and other people. And most people can't do that because they're scared of what will happen. You are reaching literally for the sun. You're reaching for the moon and the stars. And other people are like, oh, I'm too scared. What if I fail? Oh, but what if you fly is your motto, okay? I love that. That's beautiful. What if I fail? What if I fall? Okay, but what if you fly? Is what you definitely, you know, believe in wholeheartedly. It may not have always been that way, but one of the gifts you have been able to cultivate in this life is to adopt this mentality. But what if I fly? Right? I can't not do it. I can't give up and not, you know, what if I do it and this can make me $1 million? Is the energy you're coming with, instead of what if I fail and make $0 and some people laugh? You know, you don't care about that. With the King of Wands, I think things do tend to go well for you, but you also have this, I guess, gift of being able to think and do at the same time. Follow your gut feelings and do at the same time. Be quite introspective and self-aware of yourself and everyone else, and get things done, you know? So you have like this double, I'm hearing entendre, funny. You have like this double personality kind of thing, like a split personality, where you go from being very introspective, very soft, very quiet, you know, very wise, very sage, to being someone who's very outgoing, very commanding, very bossy, a natural leader kind of energy. You're the one who goes after things and you make it work. Because the Three of Pentacles is someone who's working hard to make something come to life. And you see how in this card it's usually three people. This person is embodying all the pentacles. The pentacles are on their back. So you're able to take on a lot of things and make it work, you know? This Fool is also giving me whimsy. It is giving me very whimsical kind of person. Where you're like, yeah, but what if this amazing thing happened, you know? What if I go here? It's like giving me, what's her name? Anna in Frozen 1, the first Frozen, where she's like, for the first time in forever, where she's like, what if I meet the one? Instead of being scared the way Elsa was of the gates being open, she was like, what if I meet the one? I can't wait to talk to people. I can't wait to go out there and mingle. That could also be a good thing of yours. You're a good mingler, or you're good at like talking to people. You know what I mean? Being a conversationalist. But Anna was like, I've been stuck in this castle for so long. She was dying in the castle, child. She was not thriving in her natural state. Her natural state is inquisitive, it's bright, it's bubbly, it wants to know, it wants to take care of, it wants to be a part of something. And Elsa's kind of like, oh no, I want everyone to leave me alone. I want to be in my palace by myself. And Anna's the complete opposite. So being isolated in that castle for her whole life was torture for her. So as soon as they're like, oh, tell the gods to open up the gates, because for the first time in forever, there'll be music, there'll be life. You know, she was going in. She was like, for the first time in forever, I'll be dancing through the night. Don't know if I'm elated or gassy, but I'm somewhere in that zone. Because for the first time in forever, I don't be alone. I won't be alone. Look at that. So you're definitely someone who likes to go after things, experience new things, you know? You don't like to be stuck, tied down, right? And like I said, this Hermit card is the energy of you. Sometimes you do need a little bit of quiet, a little bit of peace, a little bit of even pace, right? But then often than not, you need life to be exciting, and that's something you actively chase after. And like I said, when other people kind of shy away from starting new things and being unsure of the future, you thrive on that. It's exhilarating for you. You know, you want to know how good it can get. Literally, you want to know just what you can do, and you want to like flex your skills. You know, you can be something a little bit. You have a little bit of a big ego. You know you're talented. You want to see how far you're gonna be able to take this talent of yours. You know. Excuse me, confirmation burp. Let's keep going. That's funny. I was just saying, I don't know if I'm elated or gassy, but I'm somewhere in that zone. Both. Okay, you could be someone who's able to like burp the alphabet or something. You could be someone who is gassy. Just confirmation. But you have the ability to reach for the stars, reach for the moon, reach for the sun. With no qualms, nothing holds you back, nothing makes you scared. So you're definitely like a little bit like, and it's like, what do they say? Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the ability to overcome it, knowing you're doing something for the greater good. Now, it's not always phrased that way, but that's the best way I can interpret it at the moment, okay, on the fly. So it's like courage is not the absence of fear. You're not scared to not get hurt or, you know, anything were to happen to you, but you know the opposite of that is other people getting hurt. So like you're very brave as well. So your natural gift is bravery. Okay. You have like guts. And not the CEO, sorry. You could definitely be someone who has CEO energy because King of Wands, in the, whatchamacallit? I'm saying Enchanted Witch Tarot. No, sorry. Maybe I should make that. I don't think that's a thing. Don't steal my ideas. I'll fight. It's the something witch. Not the cozy witch. That's another one. How rude. It is the, y'all know that blue one. It's like a Rider-Waite Tarot, but an Everyday Witch. Thank you, Spirit. Oh my Lord. The Everyday Witch Tarot, the CEO is the King of Wands. He's the one in front of the boardroom, commanding everyone, leading everyone, telling them the projections of what he thinks he's going to make this month kind of energy. You know what I mean? Coming up with the ideas, telling everyone where to go and what to do. That's one of your gifts, leadership. But you're also like a benevolent leader. You're like a king, a benevolent king. You want the best for everyone. I just saw 24. That could be important for somebody. Let's see what else is coming through. Please, Spirit, for the collective. You have the High Priestess. Wow. You're powerful. You're a sorceress. You could be an enchanted witch, for real. That's kind of what I'm saying. Nobody better steal my idea. That's going to be the name of my tarot deck, the Enchanted Witch Tarot. And if it exists, I'm going to beat somebody up. And you have the Nine of Wands. You don't give up. Yeah. Your guts, your chutzpah, your endurance is definitely a big thing for you guys. For bad things, you have a capacity for lots of bad things to happen. And for you to keep fighting and going, you don't give up easily. Okay? The Fool is ready to jump at a moment's notice, not to his doom, but to his soft landing. Let me stop. Because he knows he's going to get caught. It's someone who's not afraid to leap, you know? Because they know they're going to be caught. He's like, oh my gosh, what if I fall and hit my head and drown in the water? He's like, I'm not worried about that. You see how he's looking up instead of down? That's you. You're looking up instead of down. Looking on the bright side could definitely be a thing as well. But you're a natural giver. Here we have the Lovers and we have the Five of Swords. You're also an effective communicator. You are a lover, not a fighter as well. But I just heard, don't get me wrong now, I will fight. Yeah, but you lean more towards a lover. You would prefer to be a lover than a fighter. Doesn't mean you won't fight and get crazy, okay? Your intuition is also on insane. Not even on 100, I was gonna say 100. Spirit's like, it's on insane. It's like, there's no end, you know? Threshold is the word I was looking for. There's no threshold to your intuition, to what you know, to what you can do. And when you move through life with knowing, and having the daring to go after it, nothing can stop you. Limitless potential is the Fool. Anything can happen. He doesn't know what's coming, but he knows he's excited for what's to come. You could be the Hermit and be someone who's scared of doing anything, but you're like a more, not balanced hermit, but you're a more active hermit. I guess could make better sense. So what else is coming through for the collective? We have the Nine of Cups, you know, and then we have the freaking Ten of Cups. Why were they together in the deck? You're good at getting what you want, making other people's wishes come true, and making your wishes come true. Okay, you would be a good mother, a good father. That's also one of your gifts. Naturally, very compassionate, caring, loving, and that's what I was saying. You're a lover. So lover boys, lover girls, lover men, lover women, hard worker. We have the Magician. Look at that. Exactly. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. You're patient. I'm hearing love is patient, love is kind. Why do my knees just crap like that? Y'all can have bad knees or weak knees. I don't know. One thing, I mean, you got so many things already. You're cool. You don't need the mega knees, okay? It's fine. You got other gifts and attributes. One more card, please, Spirit. Ooh. For the collective, one more card. What are the natural God-given gifts, please, Spirit? The ability to get whatever you want, the ability to build a family, build a safe compound, a safe, happy existence. To build a home is also a thing as well, and make everyone in the home feel comfortable. That's one thing the Ten of Cups doesn't, I feel like we don't get into enough. Like the Ten of Cups is everyone in the house is happy because you're able to cater to all their needs and also cater to your needs as well. So the house is happy, it's functioning, it's very high vibrational, everyone is always happy, their needs are always met, and that's something that the Ten of Cups represents. It's not just, oh, you're happy ever after, it's you facilitating a happy ever after for everyone around you as well. Everyone in your presence kind of always feels happy and taken care of. You know, there's never like I wanted to say dry eye in the house, but Spirit was like, no, there's never a wet eye in the house, you know? There's never, no one's ever crying or upset because you always make sure to anticipate everyone's needs and make sure that it's like, you know, met, but it's not something that kind of wears on you because you can take a lot, you can carry a lot. It's something you like to do, you know? It kind of fulfills you with all this Pentacles energy. To serve is the Hermit / Virgo's, I guess, purpose. They want to serve. They want to be of service. While other people are like, oh my gosh, I don't want responsibilities. You're someone who thrives on having responsibilities. That's a gift that was given to you. Other people may kill for that, you know? To be able to make their dreams come true, manifest, be a master manifestor, be a magician, able to use all the tools that were given to you in life to make something of yourself, you know? I'm hearing Gambit from the freaking Wolverine and Deadpool. I'm trying to make something of myself, you know? It's reminding me of how in that movie, all those, like, not even outcasts, but forgotten superheroes, like, was the Electra or Elastra, something like that, Blade, Gambit, all those forgotten superheroes were able to redeem themselves and do something for the greater good. And the only thing Gambit wanted was to make them know his name, you know? He wasn't scared of dying, you know, wasn't scared of never being able to escape that void universe. He was scared of not being known, you know. So you're definitely someone who's meant to be known. You're not scared of the unknown. You're scared of being unknown, becoming someone who doesn't leave a legacy behind. Interesting. So you're definitely someone, your gift is to leave a legacy behind. With this 10 of Cups, it can be that. It can be the happy family or the happy marriage card as well, right? So it may be like a gift of yours to make a family, to make a legacy. Okay, Queen of Wands and the King of Wands, exactly. People, your gift, like I said, you are the kind of person who can get people to do whatever you want them to do. Just know that. All you have to do is ask. Like, some people, this could be used for non-good reasons. This power you have, this gift you have, can be used for bad. But I think you could use it for good as well, for the benefit of yourself and others, to become an advocate for other people, to speak up for them, to get them the help and the service they need, right? If you want to use it that kind of way to get what you need also, like, you have a way about you. I'm sorry, I'm just seeing Xander in my mind. There's a, what is it called? The episode. I don't know if that's the only episode. I've watched Buffy back and forth for my whole life, but the musical episode is always the one that is prominent in the forefront. I just love musicals, and as you guys can see, I be bursting into song randomly. But anyway, there's like at the beginning of the show, like they, I guess, encounter this demon where he's making people spontaneously combust after singing their heart out or dancing their heart out, whatever. And Tara and Willow, I guess, volunteer to go home and like find this book that they saw that they think could help. And they're kind of like holding on to each other and giggling and, you know, leaving the store. And then Xander's like, did you see the way they were with each other? Their get-a-roominess of, you know, and he just had me cracking up. Xander, mind your business. Rest in peace, that man. Nicholas Brendan, child. He just passed away like 2 weeks ago. Anyway, like Xander just an idiot. So maybe your son's also very funny as well. You know how to break the tension, because everyone was kind of worried about this demon, and you know, and then Javilla and Tara, yeah, we're gonna go find a book. Yeah, the book, the text. Is what Tara said, and they were just finding an excuse to go home and, you know, shag, right? And then Xander's like, oh, y'all think y'all slick, eh? He caught on to it, so you're definitely very intuitive and you could pick up on things, but you do it in like a funny way. It's kind of the energy, a lighthearted way, maybe a non-serious or unserious kind of way, or not so much, not pressure. There's not a lot of pressure. Anyway, intuition on 100,000, 1,000,000%. The Fool are able to go after things, start things like that, okay? I'm hearing manifest generator for some of you, okay? I'm also hearing life path 3s for you guys, so that could definitely be a big thing coming through for you guys. But powerful, very, very, very powerful is your gift. The power to create, like I said, to make things happen, to bring things to life, to collab with people. You get along well with others. Like I said, with the King of Wands, now the Queen of Wands, you're good at getting people, you know, it's kind of like telling them what to do, putting them to work, you know, because it's like, it's not even just to benefit you, but you know their strengths. If you were to be the leader of a business, you would know the kind of people to hire to get things done the proper way, which is why your business would be a well-oiled machine, because you're putting the right people to the right jobs. And that's something you can just tell by looking at them, spending some time with them. You're very good. Your instincts are very good. So like business CEO, like a businesswoman, businessman, you know, in the boardroom is something that's very good. You know how to think fast, on your feet, you know, and use it in a way to benefit everyone. So it's like I said, it keeps giving benevolent king, where you kind of make decisions that benefit everyone and not just you, but it does also benefit you in the process. Right? Okay. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, yeah. Magician, very powerful. Gemini away with words, and then Virgo coming through once again. So Virgos are strong. The Fool is Aries energy. It's very strong. Pisces energy. So like I said, your, I guess, connection to the other side, the 5D spirit, is very strong. That's one of your gifts. Okay, you're very kind. Okay, hardworking. The Fool, willing to go after things. Aries, very impulsive. Okay. Then we have the Hermit, Virgo. to get things done, come up with like practical solutions to them, analyze things and find out what needs to be done. You're very good at taking a lot of information and kind of like, how can I even say it? Making it work for you, or finding a function or a system that makes it like a well-oiled machine. Like, yeah, I said that already in some kind of way, you know, taking all the information of the data and making it into something that's bigger and better and works like a well-oiled machine to get things done, you know, so you can be someone who's good at like building things, engineer type work. You know, just going over data and finding the thing that's wrong or the thing that's right, and then, you know, making another system that uses that one thing to make things even better kind of energy, you know? Interesting. You were coming through with someone who's like very creative in the beginning. Now you're coming through with someone who's like very logical. So you could be someone who uses both your right and your left brain. That's one of your gifts. Because we are getting a lot of serious, kind, benevolent energy coming through, but then we're also getting like very bossy, you know, very intuitive, very private, you know, when to say things, when to don't, you know, when to keep them to yourself, when to act, when to not act, when to take things slow, when to be patient, when to be bossy, you know, to get things done, right? Okay, I feel like I've been talking long enough. Let's get some cards and see what comes through. You're good at making people happy, giving them what they want, making their wishes come true. You're kind of like giving a wish well oracle, you know? You are definitely giving an enchanted person in the forest. That could be your look or your vibe. But the King of Wands, the Queen of Wands is like a very powerful card. It's Leo energy. So like I said, everyone just looks at you. So you could definitely be someone very attractive, or your energy is very attractive. I'm seeing like a golden orb is what I'm getting. We have time to tinker. So you know how to make things. It's giving Tinkerbell whenever this card comes out. How she was categorized as a tinker fairy. So you're not gonna focus? There it is. Time to tinker. You're good at making things better, fixing things. Here we have restoration. That's a powerful card. You're good at restoring things. Restoration. Yeah, back to its like original health or even better. I'm here reinvigorated. You know how to make things better. Okay, bring it back to life. Wake me up inside. Maybe you also know how to wake people up inside. Make them happy. Turn them on. Turn them on. And that could be like, I meant like when they're sad, you like turn back on their emotions, but turn them on physically could also be a thing as well. With the Queen and the King of Wands, you have sex appeal. Like I said, you're able to get people to do what you want, do your bidding. So don't like start using that, right? It's reminding me of a video that I saw on TikTok earlier where the girl was like, I'm able to get whatever I want. I don't know about y'all, but I can. And I ask for it, and I just always get it. And because I have the audacity to ask for it. And that's the kind of energy you guys do have. You may or may not use it. You may or may not know this, but I'm telling you, okay? There we go. Let's keep going. She don't hush, goddamn. Why is she so loud? Here we have dance to the light. That's what I was saying. You're really good at dancing, okay? I'm seeing you're good at seeing the brighter side of things. Here we have the Queen. That's what I was also saying. You're very benevolent. You care about people. You want to make their life better. You're, like I said, a benevolent leader, okay? We have Divine Feminine. That's sexy. We have Divine Feminine coming through. Then here we have the gold at the end of the rainbow. So I'm kind of getting from this card, you just happen to have everything someone's looking for. And that's that 9 of Cups and 10 of Cups coming through. You just always happen to have what they're looking for, okay? Here we have Naughty Naughty. That's that turning me on. You're turning me on. You're turning me on. You're turning me on. You better act like a real woman. That song by Carrie Hilson's coming through. And then here we have lighting your path. So you're able to lead people to, like I said, towards beneficial outcomes. That's very powerful, okay? Let's get some cards from here and see what comes through. Restoration, bring things back to life. With the time to tinker, that's very powerful. You just play with things a little bit and then bring it back to life. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's also kind of giving me makeover, like I was talking about earlier. You know how to give people a makeover. Make them look and feel better. It's also giving like Yanla fix your life could be a thing coming through for y'all too. Okay, let's see what's coming through. Please, Spirit, their natural gifts. Please, Spirit, their natural God-given gifts. Here we have best wishes. So you definitely care about people. You care about people. I love that. Okay, please, Spirit, more. What else is coming through? And this is giving, even if you're from different worlds, you tend to make it work, right? Because she's this like mermaid and he's on land, but he's like, they want to, you know, not they want to mingle. That's funny. They want to talk. They find something in common. You can find something in common with anyone. Okay, what else is coming through, please, Spirit, for the collective? What else is coming through? And to think I wanted to make this reading short, never happens. Here we have find your voice, okay? That could have definitely been something you learned to do as well. And that was one of your gifts. You know how to heal yourself and make yourself better and also other people, okay? And then we have sacrifice. That's kind of giving me that Six of Pentacles energy coming through as well. And maybe even the Nine of Wands that came through right here. The Nine of Wands is someone to go through a lot. And they're kind of like, I want to give up. I'm done. I'm sick of fighting. But that spirit of yours will not allow you to. Even actual spirit will not allow you to, like, no, keep going. To get to the goal to the end of the rainbow, right? And that's something you have found or something you will find in life because that's your like gift. That's something that is like your destiny, your fate, your prophecy to find the goal to the end of the rainbow because you never gave up, okay? You could have sacrificed love in the process, could be a vibe as well. I wasn't really getting much love. Like I was getting family, but that could just mean in general, you're a very good homemaker and make people feel comfortable and, you know, build a family and make everyone happy. But maybe, you know, that may not have been in the cards, so you had to sacrifice a lot in order to become who you wanted to be, maybe, because it's also kind of reminded me of how I was seeing a post from a creator on Instagram, and she was like how priestesses were historically known to live solitary lives. They weren't able to, they didn't get married, they didn't have partners. You know, if they needed a physical fix, they would go get their fix and go back. But during times of like illumination or needing to be like a priestess and doing their work, their sacred duty, they weren't able to be with men. And it's kind of giving me that maybe you end like, maybe it's something you signed, you know, at the beginning of your life. That's something you agreed to not like find love, or, you know, that wasn't your purpose to find love. You may find it along the way or have it along the way, but that wasn't your sole reason for being. Your sole reason for being was to be of greater service and good for the collective, you know, to see even the smallest of detail and be able to fix it, to appreciate the smallest of flies and the grandest of kings or whatever, you know, kind of energy. To see the grand scheme, see the bigger picture, but also the smaller picture kind of energy. You weren't meant to just be here and be a wife is the kind of energy. And if that's something you want to do, to sign that contract. No, you wanted to be extraordinary. You didn't want to be ordinary, okay? And that's a gift. That's your gift in life. Like I said, to not focus just on love, to focus on like everything. Leaving a legacy, like I said, okay, that's your gift. That's beautiful, or one of your gifts anyway. To find the goal at the end of the rainbow. And in order for you to find the goal, you have to first go on the journey and become an explorer. And you can't do that if you have kids at home, right? So you have to travel the world, have experiences that people couldn't fathom in their life. And that's something that's coming through for you. Those are your gifts, natural born gifts. So yeah, some of you could definitely like resonate as that with that priestess metaphor, I guess we could call it, or example. But lighting your path is the high priestess. You come to her for guidance. She gives you guidance, okay? Interesting. At the bottom of the deck here, we have laugh out loud. So you are someone who is funny, okay? And this was at the bottom of the deck, we have sense of place. That's a 10 of cups, 9 of cups, making people feel safe and comfortable, okay? So that's what I have for you guys. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, the way this person's playing the flute, the divine feminine naturally attracts things to her. So like I said, you're able to get whatever you want as long as you tap to the energy and believe that of yourself, okay? So like I said, get to it. Start having audacity and asking for what you want, because you're going to be able to get it. Like divine feminine is Empress energy and she gets whatever she wants, right? So if you ever had any doubt, I'm here to debunk it. But yeah, like I said, I hope this reading resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. We love to have you. If you'd ever want to book a personal reading, you could always do that using my email in the description box below. If you have a hype up the video, I would very much appreciate that as well. If you like these, you probably couldn't even see them the whole reading, but I have a link in the description box below that helps you get some coins off these bracelet sets from Otter Spirit. That's something you're interested in. You can find the link and also the code in the description box below. Go at it, have fun. Okay, I love me some crystals. They're very good quality as well. If you want to join my memberships, you could also do that using the link in the description box below, right above the timestamps. But as always, lovelies, this is where I leave you. I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group twos. Welcome to your reading. Thank you for joining me here today. We're going to be getting into what are your natural God-given gifts? What are you naturally gifted at with, to do, to be or not to be? That is the question. Okay, let's get right into the reading. So let's tap into the energy of group 2, please, Spirit. And what are they naturally good at? What are their natural gifts? Okay. I'm hearing to think deeply. Like philosophical questions are kind of your thing. So philosophy, psychology, to analyze, to decode, like oracle type vibes. You know, you're the person who's like the oracle, saying deep things or reading deep things, or kind of like psychoanalyzing people. You're the kind of decoder of charts. So you're definitely giving me like doctor, healer, practitioner, shaman, you know, Reiki healing, things like that. Things that don't make sense to everyone else make sense to you. Those are one of your gifts, to decode things that don't make sense to everyone else. So you're probably good at riddles and things like that, you know? One more shuffle. Please, Spirit, tap me to the energy. Group 2. What are they naturally good at? The bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Wands. So I'm hearing you're a natural hype man or hype woman. I kind of feel like I'm hearing batteries to people's back. So people feel really good and confident around you. You have a way of knowing what makes them confident, knowing what makes them feel good, you know, or just knowing what everyone needs. You know, you're a natural born pick-me-up for everyone around you. Okay, maybe you're good at like prescribing things to give people more energy. Maybe you are like a healthcare practitioner or a nutritionist or something like that. You know how to get their body moving in the right way. It's kind of like you know how to speak the body's language, you know, that keeps coming through. It's like if someone were to come to you and say, I've been having like low energy lately, you would know the exact questions to ask to be like, hey, have you been drinking water? Have you been taking your iron? Have you been taking your zinc? Whatever. And they're kind of like, you know what? I haven't had my levels checked in a minute. They'd go to the doctor and then come back to you and say, how did you know that it was my zinc or my iron? And you're kind of like, well, I just tend to know that. You could touch someone and know. I'm hearing you have the touch of an angel, so you're definitely giving big healer vibes, okay? I'm also hearing some of you could have been coming from pile 1 or you chose group 1, right? But yeah, I definitely like you could touch someone and kind of know what is like wrong with them, kind of energy. You have that intuitive knowing about you. So if you've ever doubted your intuition, there's no need because yours is quite strong. Let's get into the reading. Please, Spirit, for my group 1s. What are their natural born God-given gifts? Please, Spirit, and talents. Hello, squirrel. Maybe you're squirrely, you're good at fighting. Hello, Mr. Squirrel. With your big old eyes. Better to see you with, my dear. Maybe you have big old eyes. Oh, why would you fall? How rude. You have the Hangman. The Six of Swords is a healing energy. You know how to like move people forward or move yourself forward. Kids specifically, maybe you have a special connection to kids. You know how to move things forward in general. You know how to make things better, make people feel better, make things work better. And it's all because of your touch. Because the way the child seems to be clinging on to this adult is like kind of calling my attention. We also have this Hangman energy, which he's burrowing deeper. You're very good at, like I said, analyzing things. You're like sitting back and watching things happen, kind of like decoding people's behavior. It's like, I don't know, you're giving like a, how can I even describe it? Like an all-seeing, all-knowing oracle. Maybe you're a seer, actually a psychic. And you could just like, I feel like because you dealt with so many people or so many cases, you just tend to know what is what already. Because you've done with it is funny. You've dealt with it so many times before, you kind of know the indicators or markers to look for. Very intelligent person. We have the Seven of Swords. Keeping things under lock and key, keeping secrets, seeing what's hidden is what I'm hearing as well. Those are some of your gifts. Being like an iron box, is that what the saying is? Like things will not escape you, you know? If someone asks you to keep a secret, you'll keep a secret, you know? We have the Nine of Cups. The Three of Wands. You're good at getting what you want. 9 of Cups, 3 of Wands, going after what you like. I'm hearing lucky for you, that's what I like. You tend to know what people like. You have King of Cups. Like I said, you see things that are hidden. You can see through people, see through their actions, what they're really saying, get to the heart of the matter. Is a gift coming through. King of Cups is someone who's in complete control of their emotional world and their emotions. Okay. Their feelings. No one can get you upset if you don't want to be upset. You know, people have no control over you. That's actually really powerful. One more card from this deck, please, Spirit. The 9 of Wheels. You have the 9 of Cups and 9 of Wheels. You're very self-sufficient, very independent. These are natural gifts. Self-sufficient, independent, really good at making money. I feel like you're the kind of person who can like get people to like throw money your way, if that makes any kind of sense. Like as soon as you say something, people don't really need much to be convinced, like especially, or even if you are someone who's into the more like woo-woo, you're into the more spiritual, the more 5D, it doesn't take much for you to convince people you know what you're talking about and like, here's my money. You could have been someone who built a business from scratch based on people believing in you, and you seeing things about them that no one else has ever seen, or like picking up on things they've never told anyone kind of energy. You pull some cards, you get an intuitive hit, an intuitive knowing, clear senses is coming through really heavily. Like that's a clear knowing. And you just know these things. People are like, you didn't even pull no cards. You didn't even like touch me. Maybe you do have to touch them. Maybe you're good, like a good palm reader. Like I'm getting all the things, honestly. And people are like, how the heck did you do that? And like, take my money. I need to know more kind of energy. You know how to, like, I'm hearing like you know how to take people or get people hook, line, and sinker. You know, you have a bit of like an obsessive, attractive, magnetic, like mystical kind of energy to you with the King of Cups coming through here. People want to get to know more about you, but the fact that they know nothing about you makes them want to get to know you even more. Okay, interesting. So like you're good at concealing things, keeping who you are really hidden, or what you don't want people to see really hidden is what's coming through as well. At the bottom of the deck we have the Strength card coming through. So you're also very strong. You could have been someone who's been through a lot of things, which is why I kind of said you have this like not haunted look to you. You have the eyes like a deep, I can't even describe it. You have eyes that feel and look like they've seen lots of horrors in the world. And it's kind of like this, like you can look into someone's eyes and get a little spooked sometimes because it's like you're seeing too much of me. Like stop looking at me. So your eyes are really pretty. I was saying that earlier, you would have really nice eyes because the way the squirrel kind of like perched in front of the window was staring at me with this big dark eye. I'm like, please leave me alone. So you could have like really intense dark eyes, and that would make a lot of sense because we have the King of Cups coming out and he is Scorpio energy, and Scorpios see everything. They have that, like one of the most intuitive signs, you know. The water signs tend to be very intuitive, so you can have water placements. If you don't have water placements, that doesn't, you know, take away from the fact that you're very intuitive, very knowledgeable, very psychic, okay? And those are like your gifts. Like it's crazy. You can use these gifts to kind of like get the world, get whatever you want, you know, convince people that you are legit. Not that you have to convince them, because you are, but you know what I mean? Like people are very skeptical of these things. I feel like more and more people are coming around to it because tarot cards and spirituality is becoming a big thing as more and more people are awakening. But I feel like you're the kind of person who was always about that life, you know? I'm seeing, what is it called? The Craft. In my mind's eye, I'm seeing Charm, those like shows from when I was younger, and movies as well. Like people who've been about that life, And there are people who are just learning about it or just being free or feeling free and able to like show that spooky side to them. You know what I mean? That could have been you. You were concealed in the dark for a long time. And you could have been through a lot of challenges. So I feel like people who like move towards spirituality find that religion or organized religion doesn't tend to work for them. So they kind of want to learn a lot about a lot. So you know a lot of things, you're very knowledgeable. You could be well versed in lots of practices, techniques, religions as well. And it's because you want a piece of every little pie. You don't want to just know one thing, you know? I'm hearing you give off like sentient being. I'm also hearing like a sentinel. So you could have like a very dark, protective, menacing kind of energy to you. But it's not like in a way where people are like scared you're gonna physically hurt them. It's just like, you've seen things about me I don't want you to see. You've seen things in this life you shouldn't have had to see. You know, that kind of energy. I'm getting like chills now that I'm saying that. I feel like very, not creeped out, but just like, ugh, the horror. You know what I mean? And that's hilarious because I believe that's an important quote that, is it the heart of darkness? It comes from, I think his name was Colonel something. Not Sanders. That's KFC. Please. Stop it. Let's get back serious. That was hilarious. Colonel something in The Heart of Darkness. I think that was his last words when he was like dying, like the horror. So like you've seen some things left you weren't really supposed to see, and it kind of left you haunted, you know, maybe a little bit mistrustful, you know, and those are your gifts, because that is like the things that shaped you into who you are now. You turn them into gifts is the energy coming through, you know. Maybe you are someone who sees things for real, you know. You could be someone who does see demons and ghosts and the googly mooglies and even angels and things like that. And people are like, what the heck do you mean you saw an angel? Like, you know? And you're like, but I said I saw an angel. You know what I mean? And or I've been seeing them. I've seen ghosts, talk to ghosts kind of energy. You're giving like a very, like I said, like I don't want to say those, I don't consider it like really out there, but it's like things that you don't see every dynasty, things you don't see every day or hear every day, or things you've seen and heard of, right? So you could have been through some spiritual battles in life. We have the Strength card, we'll keep it at the bottom of the deck. So Leo energy coming through. With the Leo energy, that's like you have tamed the demons. You're able to tame demons and others as well. It's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Excuse me. Confirmation right there. But you're able to still keep this like very wistful energy to you, you know? You've seen things, but it hasn't made you hard. I feel like you've healed from it. You've learned what you needed to learn from it. And now you're able to teach other people the things, the lessons. Because the Hangman is a big energy of being sat and having to learn a lesson, having to get your degree before you're able to go out there and teach anybody or show anybody anything, you know? I'm hearing Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender. She's like, I know Aang can do anything, but it's gonna, what the heck did she say? I know it's going to be a while before Aang is ready to save anything, but I believe Aang can save the world. Like, you're giving Aang, 12-year-old Aang, who was locked in the ice, 12-year-old Aang, who was taken out of the ice, and in that whole 112th year span, he's seen a lot of things. You know what I mean? I think he, like, found his whole, in, like, the first episode, he sees his whole, like, people like decimated. He has to go when he finds the earth temple, the air temple, sorry, I can't talk today. He finds the air temple and he has to go through that grief, you know. He sounds like very innocent, very like, you know, I don't want to say whimsical, because I was giving whimsical for group 1, but like I said, some of you could have felt called group 1, or you are watching from group 1. Like, you have like a very whimsical, like devil may care, you know what I mean? Go with the flow, kind of, not even nonchalant energy, but you like, you know, Aang, if you've watched the show in the beginning seasons, where he's like more so childlike and innocent before he's seen too many things. And the more he goes on his journey, the more things that he sees as he grows up. Because essentially, he's still 12 years old. He's been frozen in a 12-year-old body, and he hasn't had the experiences of anyone who would be 112 years old, but he has been locked in the ice for 100 years. So technically, he is 112, because 100 years has passed, but he hasn't gone through those things. It's kind of giving me that. So maybe you have like an 100 and something year old soul, but you're still like 12 years old. You know what I mean? And on that journey in trying to defeat the Fire Lord, he learns a lot of things, sees a lot of things, and that's where his wisdom comes from, experience, you know. But you've experienced grief, loss, all of those things that no one should have had to experience, and probably at a young age. And those things kind of made you very sharp, very perceptive, very, like, you know, guarded. You know what I mean? But those are also how you cultivated your gifts, because those experiences gave you those gifts as well. If that makes sense to you, I hope it makes sense. I feel like it does. Here we have the Fool, we have the Nine of Swords. So freedom from overthinking is definitely a thing that could be one of your gifts as well. You're not someone who likes to overthink things. You just like, you know, what is it? Act first, think later. Okay, so please, Spirit, can you continue tapping us into the energy? Nine of Swords actually coming out is insane. And the Six of Swords is kind of like moving on from trouble and turmoil. So it's definitely giving you're like a healer. You help people do that. I feel like because at first you did it for you. Okay, some deep energy coming through here for you guys. Nine of Swords. So if you're looking for like a cutesy, unheavy energy, it's not this reading. We have the freaking Nine of Pentacles coming through again. That's crazy. You have the Midas touch. You have the Midas touch. I don't know why I feel like this is not, no, it's not that. It's these up here. Like maybe it's the tripod. No, it is the cards themselves. That looks much better. Okay. See the attention to detail. You're seeing things that are wrong. Instead of me moving the tripod, you were like, no, it's the cards. Like that could definitely be a part of your gift. Okay. You seeing what's wrong and fixing it accordingly. But you knowing what was actually wrong instead of what everyone else would have thought was wrong. Someone else may have thought it was a tripod, but I was like, nah, it's where the cards were placed. So seeing deeper into the heart of the matter. We have the devil. Oh. These are the things you've been through and overcome. We have the 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords and 8 of Swords. Very interesting. Okay, please first continue tapping into the energy. This is giving me a video that I saw on TikTok a few days ago where the lady was like, kids who have been through things right early on in life, been through some kind of trauma, it makes them like almost too self-aware, you know? Where I'm trying to remember what she said exactly, like what was the method behind the madness that she was talking about. It was something here about like hyper vigilance being like a superpower instead of it being like a hindrance, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna dwell on it. It may come back to me after, but it was some video that she was talking about where it's kind of like basically essentially kind of a gift. We have the 10 of Wands, but they want to come out in reverse, so I'm going to honor that and leave it in reverse. And then we have the Temperance card coming out. Let's get one more card, please. One more card. What are their gifts, please, Spirit? Making money and financial independence is a gift for you. I don't know if that's something that comes easy to you. We have the 4 of Wands. Balance, structure, stability, happiness. Making everything a celebration, or celebrating the small things in life, or celebrating yourself could be a big thing coming through as well. Okay, so based on what we have here, you're someone who looks deeper, sees deeper, feels deeper. That's a gift. Okay. It could be because you've gone through things in your childhood that have made you have to be that way, you know, like try to find some understanding for why this happened to me, why I have to go through this, why people treat me this way, why am I seeing these things, why am I experiencing these things, why can I see ghosts kind of energy. I have to understand these gifts, but no one is here to teach me, you know. You could be like the first in a family of people who've never had the experience of having any gifts. It's kind of giving me Harry Potter in the first movie where he's living with I forget their names, the Doofdankers, we'll give them that name. He's living with the Dudleys, I think their names, I don't know. And they're not magically inclined, but he is. And the sister was a dud, okay? She didn't have any magic gifts. She was a muggle, okay? But the mother, her sister, ended up, Harry's mother, I should specify, which was the aunt that Harry was living with, sister, did have gifts, and she was always envious of her for having those gifts in the family and being able to go to Hogwarts. She was always like, oh, she would always come back and talk about Hogwarts this and Hogwarts that, and she was always jealous. You could tell she was jealous. But Harry was like kind of stifled and abused and locked under a staircase, literally a little room under the staircase, because of these gifts he had, and because they were envious of him, because they couldn't do the things he did. And he was just this innocent child who lost his parents too young, and he didn't in any way, shape, or form deserve the things that was done to him. But like I said, along the way, those things he went through became superpowers, because if he were to grow up in any other kind of environment, I feel like he wouldn't have been able to do what needed to be done to defeat Voldemort. So I think that's also where the prophecy comes into play. And it also reminds me of how a lot of people have a lot to say about Dumbledore and how he left him with the Dudleys or whatever those people's name was, knowing that he could have done something to help him. But I do believe in him leaving Harry in that kind of environment. He was creating the perfect weapon that he may have needed in the war that was to come, you know? So Dumbledore, he was a messy man, okay? He wasn't pure and innocent and the best person around that everyone thought he was. I feel like when you read the books and get older and really dive deep, you see that Dumbledore was a little effed up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But he's kind of like he was creating and curating the perfect weapon for mass destruction in Harry by leaving him that situation. Because when he came to Hogwarts, he was like, oh my gosh, he was talked about in whispers and everyone, oh my gosh, reverence, and he survived the Dark Lord and whatever. And if he had to like grow up in the wizarding world with that reputation from birth, he wouldn't have been the person to go on to defeat Dumbledore. He wouldn't have had the traits and things he needed if he would have had a certain personality, is the kind of vibe coming through. Also, it's just a story as well, but I feel like it has some kind of relevance to this reading, you know, because I feel like what's her name could have wrote it in a different way, where he did end up having what he needed to defeat Dumbledore, even though he could have been like an egocentric maniac by growing up in the wizarding world and being the guy who defeated the Dark Lord, when it wasn't even his own gifts, it was just his mom's love. It wasn't anything that made him super powerful, you know. So if he would have grown up in that kind of, you know, people filling his head with all this, oh my gosh, you're the chosen one kind of energy, he never would have developed the skills he needed, if you understand what I mean, right? So like, I'm not excusing whatever happened to you or trying to like make it softer or better, but I'm saying that the gifts that you had were bred in like depravity and loss and lack. And I feel like those gifts that you now have are able to go on and make you money. So you're good at making money. Natural born businessman, businesswoman. You're good at handling it, growing it, you know. Nine of Cups is like a big energy of getting whatever you want, your heart's desire. So you could be someone who is very magical, master manifester kind of energy. You see something, you want it, and you got it, right? This person's sitting in leisure. So you could be someone who's good at like providing for yourself, you know. You could be someone who did go to school, and you could be someone who has a good degree, and one of your gifts is your discipline, because it takes discipline to finish school and to be able to become the person who can move on and make this money and live this kind of life, especially because you have the Nine of Pentacles coming through twice. That is ease, okay? That is luxury, that is abundance, being happy on your own, being able to be on your own, you know. And all these cards are kind of giving a lonely, just me, myself, and that kind of energy, besides the Four of Wands at the end of the reading and the Devil, okay? Maybe you are someone who deals with unhealthy attachments, but this is not what the reading is about. The reading is about what are your gifts, okay? So I kind of feel like you are given like a snake charmer, where everyone else is the snake and you're the snake charmer. You know how to make them do your bidding kind of energy. That was also coming through a bit in group one. But the Devil's like people are really attached to you, drawn to you, with the King of Cups coming through here. So those are your gifts, like natural magnetism, okay? I'm hearing tenderism. Please! So maybe you are like a little tender morsel and everybody wants a piece, you know. Maybe you were blessed and your gifts is like a good body and good genes, you know. You know how to take care of yourself. You have the discipline, the strength to work out when other people would not want to, and other people will let themselves go and gain all this weight and look a certain kind of way. You know how to keep yourself trim and fit, you know, and that's discipline. That's a gift right there. Not everyone has discipline, you know. Whew, King of Cups, you know how to like get to the heart of things. You know how to dive deep into your emotions and not run away from those emotions. You know how to find harbor and safety in those emotions. And that's also another big gift coming through here for you. What else? Seven of Swords, we kind of went through that already. You're good at keeping things close to your chest, right? Keeping things secret if need be, holding other people's secrets safe within you. Nine of Swords, I feel like overthinking sometimes can be a gift, you know what I mean? Because you can see everything that could happen before it happens. So you can kind of plan for certain things. You're a good planner as well. I'm getting the energy of you seeing potential in things other people don't see potential in. Because the Three of Wands, and I keep looking at this Nine of Pentacles here, and the way she's like holding on to her like big garden of things. She's like flaunting this tree of money. She's flaunting this bush of money. It's kind of like you just naturally accumulate money, you know? It's kind of giving me my sister. I'm seeing her in my mind's eye right now, where she was like telling me based on her chart, she has like a lot of 8th house placements. And I was also watching a video a little while back about an astrologer who was talking about people who have like a lot of 8th house placements naturally get things given to them by other people because of the 8th house placements, because 8th house energy is other people's money, other people's things, other people's like possessions, and you know. So I kind of like, maybe you're like an 8th houser, you know. That could be a thing coming through as well. I'm also getting big 12th house energy. So you have like a lot of 8th house placements, 12th house placements, but things tend to come naturally and easily to you. You have a free spirit is coming through as well, okay? I'm getting an energy of someone who's willing to get up and go on a vacation whenever the feeling hits them, you know, whenever the mood strikes, right? That's a big thing coming through for you guys. You like to see the good in the world, like to see the depth in the world. Like I said, you're very big into philosophy. You're very big, and you could be also a 9th house, right? Okay? You could have like ninth house placements that are important to you as well, because that's like diving deep, wanting to know more. I feel like your higher education and your sensitivity to the world is what makes you so good at making money. And it's like, it can kind of be like you, I don't know, like taking advantage is a thing coming through. And I guess in this case, that's kind of coming through as a gift. You like know how to get in where you fit in. You know how to use and morph. And I don't know, like, it's just giving me that kind of energy. You know how to get your way. You know what I mean? And it could be because your soul's like very sexy, right? Physically, and people are kind of like, just give her what she wants, give her the world kind of energy. Temperance is the energy of like, going back and forth, being good at experimenting, finding what works for you, finding solutions. You know what I mean? Like having like a very healthy routine could be a thing as well. Like I said, like health conscious could be a big thing for you guys as well. Some of you with the 9 of Cups here, you have like a very strong tolerance for alcohol. So you could be like you could drink certain people under the table. Let's move this a little closer so you can see the cards better. You could drink certain people under the table. You're really good at holding your alcohol. It's a big thing coming through here for you guys. Okay. I'm hearing you willing to try anything once. That's something coming through as well. And funny, Temperance is Sagittarius energy, and that's 9th house energy right there. So yeah, higher knowledge, higher wisdom. I'm hearing, think about it. There must be a higher love hidden in something hidden in the stars above. Without it, yeah. I'm hearing higher love coming through. So you're very much all about the higher purpose, the higher vision kind of energy coming through here. That's one of your gifts. Seeing the bigger picture could definitely be a bigger thing for you. You're not someone who's into the minute details. Some of you are. Getting that vibe that was coming through earlier, but most of you could definitely be big picture thinkers. But I feel like with the 9 of Swords coming through here and the 8 of Swords, you can also definitely get caught up sometimes, But we're trying to read these cards as gifts. So let's keep going and see what else comes through for you guys. Certain things kind of slide off your back. I don't think you let a lot of things get to you. So that kind of carefree, devil may care, nothing bothers me energy could definitely be a gift for you as well. Where someone could say something mean about you and other people would like, let it break them down and cry. But you kind of use that as fuel to be better. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I was saying with Aang. Very philosophic, very playful, very childlike when he was writing, but he was also quite deep and very much a pacifist. And the way he was raised with the monks, he had like a certain respect for nature and the world and everyone. So that could also be a gift of yours. Respecting nature and the world around you, the natural order of things, everyone's autonomy, everyone's a person, everyone deserves to be treated right. If these squirrels don't move, I feel like in every reading the squirrels come and the birds come. I'm an animal magnet. That could be your gift as well. You could talk to animals or communicate with animals, or animals are like one of your, affinities is what I heard. So we have tipping point. Very interesting for a gift, a tipping point. I'm not sure how that kind of can manifest as a gift. Here we have divine feminine energy. This is that being able to attract whatever you want. Like I said, people kind of maybe throw money at you, treat you to nice things just because. Like I said, so you don't gotta show them, or you don't have to prove yourself in order to get money, and that's a gift, okay? Most people gotta go through hellfire to get some money on. It comes easy and naturally for y'all. Or you're able to swindle or finagle your way into it, And look at how she's holding the rooster here. And how she's holding the bird there. There is something here about animals. People like to treat you to things as well, is what I just heard. 4 of Wands is community. So maybe like your affinity for bringing people together. You have an affinity for bringing people together. Here we have mind your own. You know how to mind your own business. That's that 7. That's that 7 of Swords coming through. Mind your own always cracks me up. Mind your own is also you very much taking care of the bottom line, and you are the bottom line. So you have a lot of self-love and self-care, you know, for your soul and your spirit. So if you want to go on a trip, whatever you want, sweetheart. If you want to go buy something, whatever you want, sweetheart. You know what I mean? That's the Nine of Pentacles energy coming through, and also the Nine of Cups. Whatever you want, you're able to get it for yourself. That's beautiful. That's a gift right there. I'm also hearing discernment is a big thing for you as well. Here we have overall overflowing wealth. I was going to say overall wealth. Overflowing wealth keeps coming through. Wow. One of your gifts is making money. Don't we love that for you? Here we have feel the feels. That's also, you know, quite prominent with the King of Cups coming through here in Temperance. If you have the right balance of the negative and positive of the cards that are coming out, is kind of what I'm feeling here. But the Four of Wands, you're good at finding love as well. With the Nine of Pentacles and the Four of Wands, like, but next to each other, it's definitely giving me a vibe of attracting like high quality friends. So maybe your friends treat you. Maybe you have like very nice friends, and that's one of your gifts, to be surrounded by people who want to give to you without you having to ask. Or even if you do ask, they have no problem giving to you, you know? So very like abundant, wealthy friends maybe. But I mean, if you have money, wouldn't your friends have money too, right? I would hope. Showing up, that's also one of your gifts, showing up for people around you. That's beautiful, actually. And then we have dancing in the light. These always give me little sperms. Like, don't tell me they don't to you. Like, stop it. Maybe you're able to find freedom from overwhelming thoughts as well with the Eight of Swords coming through here. I'm not really getting an overthinking vibe for you guys. You may worry, you know, you care too much, but it's like not to the point where it like debilitates you. And that could be what the gift is, you know? You're able to analyze lots of thoughts, lots of feelings, lots of data, lots of information, and kind of, you know, ground it in a way where it doesn't overwhelm you. And that's kind of giving me like, that's a good trait to have, especially if it's like data in the world, or you seeing how people react to a certain thing, or like doing like, I'm hearing test subjects or trials, you know, like some certain people do like a test trial for something, a product or an app, or even movies sometimes, like for it to get greenlit, they do like little test groups of people to see if they like it. I think you're good at stuff like that, because that like exactly entails bringing people together. Those are one of your gifts, bringing people together. I feel like making a community, making people feel safe. And that's why money is so good and flowing and abundant for you, because you surround yourself with high value people, or you bring people together and they're willing to give you anything. It could get a little cultish, you know? But that's the obsession that people, yes, it's all coming together. It's making so much sense now. Yes, you build a cult-like followings and friends and communities to where these people are willing and able and ready to give you whatever your heart desires. And you may or may not use that to your advantage. If you know about it, I feel like you do. With the Nine of Pentacles coming through twice, the Four of Wands, people willing to give you anything, and you have like a very strong community backing you. If you are a content creator, someone who goes out into the world and makes friends easily, you're able to build people and have like a backing of people who are going to ride 10 toes down for you. If you're someone who has a business, you have customers who always come back to you. Because like I said, you know what you're talking about, especially if you're a spiritual person in the spiritual community. They're flocking back to you. Take my money, give me a reading, please. You were so accurate. And you build like an occult-like following. Yes, that's one of your gifts right there. I'm like, what is the energy that's coming through? That's what it's giving. People want to follow you. They become obsessed with you, attached to you. And now they kind of need you to survive. They need you to make the decisions, or they need you to figure out what's going on in their life, kind of energies, you know? That's interesting. Anything else, please? We have a sense of place. This came through for group 1 as well. People feel safe in your energy. And it may not be an energy you're taking advantage of, but you would be able to if you wanted to, right? It's like you bring that intensity, that obsessiveness, that obsession out of people. They kind of always want to be around you, want to be in your energy. They may be willing to pay if your energy. Maybe you're giving OnlyFans energy. People are willing to pay to be a part of your community. It's kind of giving me YouTube. And the occult-like energy that comes from building a following, having supporters. Then they want you to pay for a Patreon. Then they want you to pay for a membership. And people will do that when it comes to you. You know what I mean? Because some people have trouble. doing those things. If they want to have a membership, they have a problem finding people that are gonna come back. If they want to have a Patreon, if they want to have a Twitch, if they want to have a Substack or whatever, people that's just gonna follow them and pay for their content. It may be like, you know, what do they call it? Is it prying something open something? Like, I'm seeing a clam not wanting to open, an oyster not ready to open, you know? Like, it's kind of like, what's the saying? I can't remember right now. It's kind of like something. Picking flowers? No, picking flowers is quite easy. There's a saying around it where it's like kind of like, no. It's hard though, it's not easy. But for some people like you, it's quite easy. Here we have adaptation because you're able to adapt quite easily to your circumstances. Like I said, you've been through some things, but you made it work for you instead of working against you. That's one of your gifts right there. Here we have a sacred goddess, and I would understand why people want to give you offerings and give you money because you're a sacred goddess. We love that, don't we? We have wanderlust. That's a travel energy come to the travel bug that you guys have. And then the last card. Tipping point, I still don't understand, but maybe you bring people to the edge, you know? They're holding on to their seats, at the edge of their seats, waiting to see what you do next. And that's that community you've built of loyal customers. If you're a doctor, coming back to your practice. If you're someone who does content, people buying whatever you want. If you're recommending something, they're buying it. If you have a community, a Patreon, a membership, whatever, they're a subscription, they're subscribing, they're always coming back. You know what I mean? Building loyal occult-like followings is one of your gifts. And that's because you embody this divine feminine energy, which easily attracts things. Like I said, some of y'all are also from group 1, or you should go watch group 1 as well. Because there's a common thread, a commonality coming through for that group and this group. One more card, please, Spirit. I'm not taking all of those. One more. Okay, you're kind of sticking out. We'll take you. And here we have protection. You could also be someone who's very spiritually protected because you have a calling on earth, is what I feel like. So your gifts, to go wander, to meet new people, to want to get out into the world, to not be scared to do new things, jump in the deep end, okay? Is the energy coming through. Maybe one of your gifts is being able to provide protection, because strength and protection kind of give the same energy, in my opinion. Able to protect the masses, you know? Lead people to the right path. Okay. Adaptation, like, yeah, I'm seeing how she's taking her feet out of the fins and putting them in. She's either putting her feet in or taking them out. We don't know in the card here, adaptation, but you're definitely able to adapt to your environment and make it work for you. Yeah, I feel like the like I said, you paying attention to those details and like kind of like going with the flow, adapting to what's going on around you. And yeah, making it make you money is, like I said, a big old one coming through. Just showing up for yourself, showing up for others is also a gift as well. Feeling all the emotions is also a thing as well. Also feeling things out. Like when you go into a new environment, you're going to sit there, absorb, watch, right? And then see how things work, how everybody moves. And then you're able to kind of like pick everything apart and make it kind of work in your favor. Like you have that very like, I don't know, evil mastermind kind of thought process where you know how to use people's weaknesses against them. Not saying you do, but that's a gift you do have. I'm not even going to lie to you. Okay? Overflowing wealth, we went over that already. Minding your own business, keep it to yourself, right? People don't really know much about you, but you know everything about them is one of your gifts as well, okay? Yeah. Tipping point. Yeah, it's kind of giving, like, bringing people to the edge of an insanity is what I just heard. Interesting. Now I'm hearing the bomb from the freaking hot ones. Maybe you're very hot and sexy. That's another thing. Come to one of your gifts. Like I said, I came through the devil card. You're willing to convince people to, you know, subscribe to your OnlyFans and they pay you for just feet pics, or, you know, you never have to get fully naked. Maybe sugar daddies like come flocking to you. People just like to throw money your way. You could have like a lot of 8th house placements for real, for real. And this dance in the light, like I said, was giving like sperm particles coming through as well. That could definitely be a big thing. People wanting to like get you pregnant or just throwing themselves your way. Like, I just want to be around you. I want to kiss your feet. I want to worship you because you're a goddess energy, you know? This sense of place. Look at how she's just sitting here like Ariel with her crown on in her like land of riches. Y'all are pissing me off. Y'all definitely giving me luxury trips. Y'all definitely giving me penthouse apartment in the sky. You're sitting there in your Fendi or Prada robe, minding your business, drinking your expensive wine with all your jewelry and thanking all your followers for their what is it called? Their wares. Like, thank you for bringing me this. Thank you for bringing me this. You don't really gotta work for anything because everyone's just giving you things, you know? Okay, I can keep going, but I'm gonna end your reading right here, though. Thank you for watching. Okay, I hope this reading resonated for somebody. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. We'd love to have you. If you ever want to book a personal reading, you could always do so. Hype the reading as well. If you want to book a reading with me, you can always use my email in the description box below. Okay, if you want to join memberships on the channel, you can always do it as well using the link in the description box below right above the timestamps. If you are interested in these gorgeous bracelets at all, I have not a QR code, I have a code or a link in the description box for you to get some money off. Okay, 20% off, right? They're beautiful, they're gorgeous. I don't wear them often, but I love when I do wear them. They don't always match my outfit, but I'm wearing blue today, so I thought, why not? Okay. Right. Anyway, yeah, that's what I have for you guys, though. Check everything out. Everything's in the description box for you. If you don't, leave a comment and I got you. But I love you guys. I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group threes. Welcome to your reading. Thank you for joining me here today. Today, we're going to be getting into what are your natural God-given talents and gifts. What are your star qualities, things of that nature? What are you just naturally good at? Okay. And as soon as I asked Spirit to tap me into your energy, I was tapped or tuned into the birds chirping outside. So you guys could be good singers, okay? You're good at articulating yourself, explaining yourself, helping people understand certain things. You just sound really beautiful. You give people like your voice is like something about it, okay? The way you use it, whether it's singing, speaking, right, writing something, explaining yourself, it's really quite beautiful. So the birds don't want to hush, so you're going to be hearing them. I'm pretty sure you can hear them, okay? Because the speaker is facing that way where the window is, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be hearing them a lot unless they be quiet. Okay, so thank you for joining me here today. Get comfy, get cozy. I'm going to be getting into what are your natural God-given talents. What are you naturally good at? What are your natural God-given gifts, okay? So please, Spirit. I'm hearing your presence is a gift, so people feel really grateful to just be around you. That's one of your gifts. I think this has been, it may have been a thing in group 1 and group 2. I don't remember. I did their reading yesterday. And look, we have the 5 of Swords. So yeah, there's something here about your communication style, how it helps people find clarity. I do believe you're someone who could be a bit of a mediator. You could be like, have Libra placements, right? You're the one who wants to help everyone come to an understanding. You don't like fighting and drama and chaos. You like calm. You could be someone who likes a cozy home. You like to, you know, I'm hearing fly under the radar. Did they stop? Like, because y'all was just chatty. Y'all talk. Like, the gift of gab is definitely one of your God-given gifts. You can talk and just talk and just talk, right? Because, please, those birds was not trying to hush for Nathan. It's insane. Okay. We have the High Priestess, okay? So you can see deeply into things. You can read people quite well, read a room quite well. Your intuition is amazing, okay? Especially when it comes to resolving conflicts, what I'm getting. We have the 3 of Wands coming through. That's all about exploration, embarking on something new, going after your goals, going after your dreams. That could also be a gift that you were given, because keep in mind, not everybody has the guts to go after what they want. Here we have the 9 of Wands. Look at that. That is you going after what you want and not giving up. So I'm hearing you have like a lot of passion and pride for the things you believe in, okay? I'm also hearing you have very high morals. That's also a gift that you were given. Most people could like do whatever they want and not really care how it affects other people. You take people into consideration, you know? Please, Spirit, what else is coming through for the collective? What are their God-given gifts? Please, what are their talents? What are they gifted at? We have 3 of Swords in reverse. You're gifted at healing. Through your words, there's something here about words, which you kind of already went through. You have the Queen of Swords. Yeah, so you're able to be clear and precise and straightforward without being hurtful. You know how some people tell the truth and it still ends up hurting people's feelings? You have the particular special gift of getting your point across, being very truthful and blunt, but not hurting people's feelings. You know what I mean? I don't know how you do it, how you phrase it, if the tone you use, it could be, that could be, you know, a part of it, but you just don't hurt people's feelings by the things you say, okay? And that is a gift, because in a society where everyone loves to get offended, and be triggered by something, it's a feat, okay? It's making me think of earlier at work, there was this one client that we have, and he was like saying something about Happy Easter, if that's even appropriate to say, because you never know anymore. And it had me and my coworker laughing, because she's like, he is so adorable. And I'm like, he is. He's the like an older guy. And he's just like, Happy Easter, if that's even appropriate to say anymore, because in this world, you never know. And it's true. Everything someone says, people take offense to. People want to have like sticks up their butt and all this kind of stuff. And you're just able to say things to people, okay? And it doesn't really, that people don't take it the wrong way. I don't know what it is, but that's the gift of gab right there, right? You're very charming. You're giving me like a natural salesman. You know how to pitch. You know how to sell things yourself, a program. Okay. It's also reminding me of how I used to work at a dance company. I kind of let that go at the beginning of the year because it was like too much. I wanted to focus more on this reading, spirituality, like building something for myself instead of working for other people, right? That could also be a gift, you know, learning how to branch out and do your own thing, even like under the harshest of pressures is kind of giving me. But the example I was going to give was at the dance company that I used to work for or host for. I had a friend that I met at the company, and she was so good at just naturally speaking to people. And I find that I'm also good at naturally speaking to people, but when it comes to selling people things, I don't know. That's not one of my strong suits. I can, you know, get up in there, I can socialize, I can talk, make them comfortable, relate, you know. I'm good at talking to people, getting them to feel comfortable around me. But when it comes to selling something, I think I have to believe in it wholeheartedly. And when it came to that company, I don't know. I feel like they wanted us to like perform miracles, because in today's day and age, not everyone can afford to pay for the memberships they were offering. And I'm like, I kind of feel like it's a little bit of a ripoff, and me not believing in it wholeheartedly kind of got in the way of me selling memberships, which is also why I told them I had to like kind of back away from it, because I said when I first came on, if I ever become a hindrance to the team, you don't have to worry about firing me. I will remove myself. I don't want to be in a job that I'm not good at, where I'm not helping the bottom line, I guess you can say. And this one friend was like, well, I don't look at it like that. I look at it like this. This is something they need in their life, and this is something they want. And it's something that's like important and vital for them. And I think they should have it. And I'm like, oh, that's where we defer, because I don't think the same. I don't feel the same way. And it didn't feel right to me to keep working there knowing I didn't feel as passionately about the product as she did. Yes, I love dancing. It's something I always wanted to do. We can never afford it, so I'm glad I was able to do that for like a good 2-3 years of my life while working at this dance place. But it wasn't something that like called to my soul, you know, the way reading would, or singing would, or, you know, just traveling would, right? If it was something that included those things, oh, I would be like the best salesperson ever. But my heart was not in it, you know? And I was like, I don't really think this product is all that worth it to be selling it to them. And, you know, and then there was a lot of people who, like I said, in today's world cannot afford certain memberships. So I'm like, I don't feel right trying to force them to be a part of this crew when I don't feel and fully believe in the product, which is why I also had to remove myself. The people there are amazing. The people there are great, but it's just the product itself that I wasn't really like, you know, vibing with as much as everyone else was. And I kind of feel like you were reminding me of that friend who's so like gung-ho and excited about this thing, and sees it in a certain kind of way in order to sell it in a certain kind of way. Now, even after she told me how she viewed the product, I even tried to see it from her point of view and sell it that way, and it wasn't working out for me. So it's like, this is just not my thing, right? And it's her thing. She's really good at it. And I'll just leave that for her to do. You know what I mean? You're kind of giving me her. You make things sound good and you make people want to buy them. Me, I have a hard time doing that. Like if it's something that I believe in and I use and like I can like go toe for toe for, you know, then yeah. But if it's like something that I really use, like I wasn't even able to go to classes as much as I wanted to because I am doing readings most of the days. So I'm like, I can't even fully benefit from this thing in order to sell it properly. So I'm gonna head out, right? I love y'all. You know, I may be back in the future, but right now it's not on the path I want to go. That could also be a gift of yours. You're able to know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk away, kind of thing. But you're giving me her, Tiffany. She's just really good at selling things, and especially this product, because it helps her so profoundly. She deals with, you know, depression, and she's open about the place helping her overcome those things. And I'm like, I can't relate. I don't feel the compulsion to come here, you know, and it's starting to become a chore and a job, and I never want to do anything that feels like a job. So I had to go, right? But you're giving me her really good at selling things, okay? What else is coming through? Please, Spirit. We have, this card wants to come out. We have a 5 of Pentacles. It was at the bottom of the deck and it fell out. So, making people feel less lonely. I'm hearing there's gonna be one less lonely girl. One less lonely girl. I'm coming for you. I'm gonna put you first. I'll show you what you're worth. If you let me inside your world, there's gonna be one less lonely girl. Let me stop. Like, I was never a believer, but when that song came out, oh, I became a believer, okay? I was always a Directioner girl, but then when that one song came out and he was singing his heart out with the beautiful sunset behind him, like, yes, Justin, do your thing, do your thing. I became a believer that day. That song was so good, but that's the energy you bring, like a warmth. And like, when I do think of that friend that I made at the dance company, she does give me someone very warm, very artistic, very creative. You put your whole heart into something. People can feel your genuine energy and your warmth when they're around you, so they feel comfortable, you know? Yeah. And I think it made a lot of sense, because I think we went out for her birthday the other day, and she ended up telling another person that we met, the person who took my job, funnily enough, she told her birth time, and I think she's like a Pisces rising, and I'm like, that makes so much sense. Or was it a Taurus rising? One or the other. But I feel like a Pisces rising makes so much sense for her. Something about her chart made sense to me. It was either a Pisces rising or a Pisces Mars, or both. And I'm like, those things make so much sense, because you are someone who's like very creative, and you make that your whole personality. So if it was a Pisces rising, it would make a lot of sense. But that could definitely be a thing, okay? Whatever you do, you put your whole heart into it, and you make other people believe in it wholeheartedly, believe in you wholeheartedly, okay? So let's pull from this other deck here and see what else comes through for you guys. What are their natural God-given gifts? You can see beyond the veil. You're giving me the energy of someone who can see into the 5D and ground into the 3D to make it make sense, make it palatable, okay? That kind of came through group 1, if I'm not mistaken. So some of you feel called to group 1. Here we have the King of Swords. Communication is one of your strong suits. Speaking, explaining, teaching. And it's funny how I was talking about taking things from the 5D and making it palatable and understandable in the 3D. That's teaching. So teaching is one of your God-given gifts. Exploration. We have the Ace of Cups. Is it still at the bottom of the deck here? Yes, it is. Look at that. Ace of Cups coming through twice. I wasn't sure to take it, but it came out again. Okay. Natural God-given talents and gifts, please, Spirit. We have the King of Wands. The King of Swords, the King of Wands, you're good at being a leader. You have great leadership qualities. Okay, what else, please, Spirit? I want to get all the cards out before I start deciphering. You have 8 of Cups. That's what I was talking about. You know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk away. That's my confirmation. I think that was the King of Pentacles, the King or the Queen. We have 5 of Swords coming through again. That's crazy. That came out for you guys, right? 5 of Swords, yeah. Okay, so we have some double cards coming out. We have the 7 of Cups coming through. Let's go one more card, please, Spirit. One more card for the collective. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse again. That is so interesting. Okay, so we have some repeats, my dears. Let's move it over so you can see everything. Okay. Hopefully that's a little better. So, what have we gone through already? We're on this section. So we have the King of Swords. You know how to make things clear. You know how to teach things in a way that people can understand it, right? Like I said, that is a gift because a lot of people are not good teachers and explainers, okay? Then we have the Ace of Cups. Like there's something here about you having a heart of gold is kind of what I'm hearing as well. There is also something here about you pouring a lot into yourself. That's one of your gifts. Being very, like, I don't want to say selfish, like self-focused, self-involved could be a thing. But I think it's more so in the vein of like self-love, because we have the High Priestess here, which can be someone who's very private, knows how to keep what she wants to keep private. Okay, you have like a special connection to spirit, you know what I mean? You're able to be both present and also in your head at the same time. That could also be a gift, right? I'm hearing you have like a very rich inner world is what's coming through as well. That's a gift. Excuse me, confirmation burp right there. We have the Ace of Cups, which is like a lot about love, self-love, pouring into yourself, having a lot of love to give. So I do believe because you pour so much into yourself, you have a lot of love to give other people, okay? So there's something here about your sense of self. You know who you are, you know what you're about, you know where you come from, you know where you're going. That's a gift that you also have as well. But also love to, I guess, attract it to you and also give it to others is the vibe coming through. I do feel like people kind of settle into your energy really quickly and always would say you're kind of like a soft, mothery kind of figure is kind of what I'm getting here for you guys. Or I guess a father, but it's gonna be more so mothering. So you could also be a friend that's like the mother hen or the human that's a mother hen who wants to make sure everyone's happy and good. Okay, but you also know how to do it in a way where your boundaries are not, you know, compromised. And you're still getting everything you need is the kind of energy coming through for you guys. Okay. You could be a little bossy. Like I feel like you know how to like delegate responsibilities to people. You know, like you do this, you do that kind of energy. Giving out work, maybe. Like you could be like a good supervisor, manager, boss. Like that's leadership energy coming through as well. I'm also hearing you could have really good hair, you know, good legs as well. You're funny for sure. With the gift of gab coming through, everyone's laughing, giggling, fawning over you, like getting real comfortable with you. As soon as they meet you, the next time you're not around, they're like, where's that really funny chick that was here the other day? Where's that really warm person that we were talking to the other day? Why is she not here? Where is she? We want her. Like, you know, it's kind of giving me that, you know? If someone were to go to the job where you work and you're not working that day, where's that person that I met last time? I liked her. You know, I don't... Basically saying, we don't want you, we want that person. You know, it's the kind of vibe coming through. That's funny. That's very funny. Okay. We have the Eight of Cups coming through. You're good at like going after what you actually want and not settling is also a gift you guys have. Because the Eight of Cups is being given just like, how can I even describe it? Because the way I was saying it was going to sound crazy. Basically, mediocrity is what the Eight of Cups represents. Mediocrity. Yes, I could keep living this mediocre 9-to-5 job, but knowing full and well that I wanted like a better job, or I want more money, or I want more adventure, more freedom to do whatever I want. I want my own business, essentially. If you were to stay, settling is the word, yes. If you were to stay in the Eight of Cups energy, you would be settling for a job you know you don't truly want, you know? But when you go after what you want and leave things behind in order to make room for a 9 of Cups or a 10 of Cups, then it's kind of like you know what you deserve, right? And that's tying in back into that self-love that you have, okay? We also have a 5 of Swords here. I do believe there is an energy here. Oh boy, like I said, you know when to say the right things, but you also know how to say the wrong things. Like I said, the gift of gab, having a silver tongue could be used in like both ways. And now you're reminding me of Lyra, Balakwa, Silver Tongue, whatever her last name was from his Dark Materials. How I think, what's her name? What's his name? I think his name was 𝐓𝐈𝐌𝐿𝐴 the bear, the white bear, the bear. that Lyra meets on her journeys, he ends up calling her silver tongue because he says she can convince people to do whatever she wants. Like, she doesn't give up. She's very, like, not pushy, it's not the right word per se, but she's good at, like, you know, just convincing you that whatever she wants is what you just so happen to need at the time, right? And that can be taken in a good way or a bad way, which I feel like, which is why the Five of Swords came out in reverse and upright, because you do have the energy to cut to the quick and hurt feelings, but you also have the energy to not cut to the quick and hurt feelings. You know what to do and what to say to make people think your idea was their idea, kind of energy. And those things can be used in both positive and negative ways, okay? Then we have the Seven of Cups, which is like you have a big imagination, you have lots of ideas, and you know how to implement them well. I kind of think you're like a creative on the low, and that's funny because you were coming through as like the singer. I do believe on the low, you're the creative. You're the one coming up with the ideas. I'm hearing, what is that video on social media? I think it's The Temptations, where he said, I'm the one selling tickets. They coming to see me. And then, like, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis, right? It's like that kind of energy. Like, I'm the main character. I'm the one who's selling the tickets. Everyone's coming to see me. And like I said, all those things can be used in both positive and negative aspects. So it's definitely saying, I'm the one selling the records. They coming to see me. Like, basically saying that y'all need me, I don't need you kind of energy, right? And there's a song by Ed Sheeran where he's like, you need me, man, I don't need you. And I think that's like one of your superpowers, because you know people need you and you don't need them. And you would be able to do everything on your own. But the fact that they kind of brought you into it to help the fact that they brought you into it to help them shows that they need you, you don't need them. You were just rocking, being successful, minding your business on your own, right? You have like plans, you implement, you have ideas you can make and create. You know, there's a life you're living, it's fine, it's great. Because you hold yourself to certain standards and you ask for what you want and go after what you want. You don't give up and you don't stop. Like persistence, being stubborn, being pushy. Those are all gifts if you use it in the right way. They can also be negative, you know, aspects and traits, but it just depends on how you use them. Those are one of your gifts. And people are like, you called me. You know, you said you wanted to increase in followers. You're not following my plan. Like, planning is also one of your good things. I'm seeing party planners. I'm hearing interior designers, especially because that Libra vibe was coming through, and those are jobs that you're quite good at. When you are given creative liberties, is what I just heard. And wanting a lot of things, wanting the whole world is also like a gift of yours. You want things, you like things. Because a lot of people don't have like ambition. Not everyone, I should say. Not everyone in life has ambitions and dreams and goals, but you're one of the people that do. And that's one of your gifts. You know exactly what you want out of life. And then the last card we have here is the Queen of Swords. That she came through already in reverse at that. So I don't think there's really much that we need to say. Clarifying the Five of Wheels. Interesting. I don't think there's much else we have to say about that. She kind of, I don't want to keep repeating myself. But like I was saying at the top, you know how to say things in a specific way where people don't get offended unless you want them to be offended, you know? Let's keep going, please, Spirit. I'm hearing... Is that a Christmas tune? Yeah, I think it's the dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies. Could be a thing. I don't know why that's coming through, but it's coming through. The dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies. You are kind of giving me a little sneaky, tinkery, trickster kind of fairy energy. Like mischievous. Okay, please further clarify the message. Here we have Wanderlust. That is that energy of always down for adventure. You like to explore the deep, dark depths of everything, whether it be the sea, whether it be space. Like, you take special interest in certain things and you're able to find out everything you need to find out about that thing about that person. So you could like be a good investigator or like forensics and things like that, like studying data and coming up with certain conclusions as well. But all these swords energy coming through. I'm hearing, what's his name? Barry Allen, the Flash, his human alter ego. He is a forensic scientist. He goes to crime scenes and picks up certain things that he like deems as important. He tests it for, you know, DNA, things like that, and then he's able to help the investigation some kind of way, you know? I think that's not my strong suit, so I don't know much about that, but that's like his job. He takes samples and tests them and helps the cops come to a conclusion, you know? Assistance is, like I said, a trait of yours coming through. But that's what this is giving me here, the wanderlust. She's going to the depths of the ocean, looking at the algae, looking at the plants, looking at all the life that's there. So that could definitely be a thing, a researcher. You're good at research too. Okay. So why don't you come out and mess up all this? You're rude. Okay, here we have inner child. You have like a very vibrant inner child, very playful. I think that kind of came through here for you guys already, if I'm not mistaken. I could be. Here we have the past is the present. That's a very interesting card. I don't get it often. We have shapeshifter. Yeah, look at how she's looking sneakily. Like, look at how sneaky she looks in that card. It's definitely giving lurking beneath the surface. Maybe you're someone who, that's rude. Like, you're not unremarkable, but you have this way of blending into the background. You're blending into plain sight. So you're able to pick up on and see things that everyone else doesn't. You know what? It's giving me the perfect example that's not as offensive, because please, lady, whistle down. If you are not caught up on Bridgerton, you don't want spoilers, just fast forward maybe 3 minutes ahead. But basically, we find out that she ends up being Penelope Featherington. Okay, and the reason why she's able to get all this juicy gossip, even though she's an active part of the ton, is because people see her and don't see anybody important, which is rude, I know, but that's what's coming through. And because of that, she's able to blend into plain sight and like sit on the walls and listen. Basically, she's a wallflower. You know, she knows how to blend into the present, the background, and watch people and listen to them and hear what they have to say. And then she brings all the tea to the ton in Lady Whistledown, right? That's what you're kind of giving me. You're able to do that. Look unremarkable, come off unremarkable when you're ready, okay? And blend into the background and just pick up information. Pick up information. You know what I mean? Very interesting. And you could or could not end up using it to your own benefit, because she was able to build like a business on that money. She was able to make a lot of money over the years being Lady Whistledown just by, you know, blending into the walls, blending into the tapestry, because in the ton, because she was someone who was like plus size, she ended up becoming soon to be spinster, because she wasn't like the most desired person in the ton, you know? Because she's a little chunk-a-monk. Men are rude, okay? But it's fine. She found her calling. She got her get back, okay? But it's definitely giving me that energy coming through here for you guys, where you're able to blend in, you know, to be unassuming, and that you get information by doing stuff like that, you know? Okay. Sorry. I'm bothering my hair. I definitely should not be. Oh no. It's edge control. Out of control. Here we have listen. That's what I'm saying, literally. This shapeshifter and listen is definitely giving that. This past is present is kind of throwing me for a loop, because what do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. Maybe you're able to exist both in the past and the present. It's kind of giving me how in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, we have the High Priestess that's caught between these two pillars. She is caught between the conscious and the subconscious. She's caught between the past and the future, and she represents the present in the middle. You know what I mean? Interesting. So maybe you're able to use your past experiences, or maybe you're someone who's good at, like, is it past life regression? Could be a thing coming through here. That could be one of your strong suits in life, one of your gifts. You're able to access the past. You're able to access the Akashic records. You're able to access things. Even like if it's not like spiritually, you're able to answer or access like cold cases and files. Maybe you could do that for fun. Try to solve cold cases, right? Wasn't that a whole show where a lady would go around and open back up cases just to solve them because they went cold? That could definitely be like a gift of yours. Because even though the evidence may be cold, you're able to just like, I don't know, feel your way around things and use logic and use information and ask the right questions. You know, you're kind of giving me like a Sherlock Holmes kind of person. You're able to solve mysteries by just, I don't know what his gift was. I've never really got too much into Sherlock Holmes, honestly. But I just know he was a gifted detective. And I think that came through for you guys right in the beginning. You're able to like investigate things. That definitely came through for y'all. Okay, let's get into this next oracle deck. I don't want to keep you too long. Why did the cards do that? How rude. Acting up out here. Have so much love to give, so much knowledge to give, so many people to lead, so many arguments to stop and diffuse. Please, Spirit, can we finalize this message? What are their natural God-given gifts? Why are like whole stacks coming out? Like, are you that talented? Group 3. We're putting these back because Group 3, please, Spirit, what are they naturally gifted at? So we have desire. Oh. This is kind of giving me going after your desires. So look at how happy she looks to be seeing something or doing something. Like you get very excitable. Like you are giving like naughty, very excitable, fairy who's just happy to be there, happy to be a part of the bunch. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. I'm trying to see who the example I'm seeing in my mind's eye. It's some kind of excitable fairy being. I'm also getting like a Bubbles kind of character for you. Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls. Where when she was ready, she was a big crybaby with this big softy heart. But when she was ready, she was the most scary and the most lethal. When her emotions went like left, oh, she was dangerous. Everyone thought Buttercup was the worst of them. It was really Bubbles. She just hit it really well under that like crybaby, defenseless demeanor. That could definitely be a vibe. That's one of your gifts. People, like I said, underestimate you. They see right through you, but you're able to use what you learn in those moments against them, you know? So we have Flo, and she looks like she's doing some espionage. Like, don't mind me. I'm just here casually between these two swans. You're able to float into the background and get information. You know what this is giving me? There was a show that came out. I forget the name of the show. I'm so annoyed. But it's with Amelia Clark, I believe, and another lady. The girl from like, was it like White Lotus or something? They end up being like, it's not ponies, it's not bunnies, it's something where their husbands like either are unalived on a mission in like the CIA, you know what I mean? Undercover. And they're like, well, put us in. No one's going to suspect us women are going to be like a part of the police or whatever. And the police agree to put, it's like a TV show, I think. And the police agree to put them in the field. And like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on. And it's kind of like that. People put unassuming women in jobs and the work will get done, is all I got to say. You know what I mean? Because people are not going to suspect a like unassuming woman, a nice girl, a girl next door kind of energy. But those are the ones you need to watch out for. How people say it's always the quiet ones. Maybe your soul is like very quiet, and in the quiet you're able to pick up on things and hear things and see things other people don't. We have the elements. Why are all these cards trying to fall out? No. Y'all see this BS? No, we're not taking all these cards. One more time. Please, Spirit. Nope. Okay, this one to come back out, so we'll take it. Gold at the end of the rainbow. You're able to see the bigger picture. The end of the gold at the end of the tunnel. The light at the end of the tunnel, they're the same. Here we have north, south, east, and west. This is giving me the same vibe as the elements. One more card, please, Spirit, or maybe not. Maybe. We have King. Okay, so north, south, east, and west, that's that traveling bug. You have that wanderlust. I feel like these two cards kind of match. And I kind of feel like I'm playing, what is it called? Those games where you have the flashcards and when they're all out, you have to like match the cards to the cards. That's what I feel like this is. So maybe you're good at puzzles, you're good at solving riddles, solving problems, solving equations. Maybe your stone's like very scientific, very mathematic, things like that. But with the elements and the north, south, east, and west, it's like you kind of have a little bit of everything, if that makes sense. How can I even describe it? Like, there's not one thing that makes you powerful. It's a bunch of little things that you bring together that make you powerful. Like hypervigilance, right? Then there's the whole being able to blend into the background, right? Then being able to teach people things quite easily, you know? And then maybe some of you have like a photographic memory, right? And then you're able to dissect people, dissect events, dissect things that happen around you with that whole forensics and cold case energy coming through. And all those things together make you like all the elements, you know? You're someone who's able to put all their skills into one little, like, hearing money-making laundering scheme, please. Well, maybe you could if you wanted to. That's one of your gifts. You would be able to be like a villain and run like a Ponzi scheme if you wanted. And you would be able to have people working for you and believing in you and doing whatever you want. Interesting. But it's you're taking all these moving parts and bringing them together to make something even more powerful is the vibe that's coming through. Since we got one more card from this deck, let's get one more card from this deck before we end up the reading. For their natural God-given gifts. Being able to see the lessons in the past and apply them to the present is what I'm hearing as well. And then we have best wishes. So you are sweet when you want to be. You're sweet when you want to be. You're a good listener. You're a good listener. You're sweet when you want to be. You always want the best for people around you, right? But you are able to sneak and lurk under the surface if need be, right? And it's funny because I just saw this, this movie yesterday. It's called Forbidden Fruits, okay? And you guys are giving me like, there was an energy in that movie, I guess we could say, of a lot of girls pretending to be like innocent but really like vicious under the surface. So it's about these girls that work at the mall, and they work at this store called Eden, Free Eden, right? And they kind of like have a leader, which was like a Regina George kind of character. And then the other girls are just like her minions until this other girl like infiltrates. She's a new girl at the mall. And they like hire her at the store and she becomes one of them. And then of course the other girl, which would be the Gretchen Wieners, becomes jealous and she's unstable emotionally. And I just feel like it was a retelling of that in a different way. Also like the Craft, Mean Girls, Legally Blonde, Clueless kind of retelling is what was going on in that movie. But it was very interesting because there was something here about the girls looking so beautiful and so innocent. Like they couldn't hurt a fly, but they were really like witches under the surface. And they were doing like some dark magic and things like that. So that's kind of what I'm getting here. You have like two sides to you. You have a dark side that you could use if you wanted to, but maybe some of you don't use it, you know? You have a cunning to you that most people don't have. And you can either use it for good or use it for bad. It just depends. Is the energy coming through here? But you have a strong imagination. You're able to cook up schemes, cook up things. And people, you're unassuming is what makes you also quite dangerous. You could be someone who looks really innocent. People wouldn't suspect you. And that's also another gift. Because you could have done all those things. You could have done all the bad things. But when the police are looking for a suspect, they would never suspect you. Because you're flying under the radar. You're the evil mastermind behind it. You're the kingpin, right? But they're kind of like, no, she would never. And you're like, yes, I wouldn't. Meanwhile, you did. And it's you, right? That's what was coming through. There was like a spell they did in the movie where they were trying to out the snake in the group. And I'm not going to tell you what happened because the movie is still new. I will give you some time to watch it. But there's something here about that. A snake lurking underneath, ready to strike whenever ready. Okay, it's threatened. Not purposely going out and attacking people, but if threatened, you're able to be venomous when you're ready, you know? But I'm gonna leave your reading there. I don't want to, just start to keep talking too much. I hope it resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe we love to have. If you'd ever want to book a personal reading, you could always do that using my email in the description box below. Hype the video if you feel called to. If you have any more hypes left, I always appreciate that. It does help the video. Okay, if you want to help me with no, you don't gotta pay me or nothing, just hype the video. It's free. Like the video, comment something. You know what I mean? Share the video. But yeah, if you want to join a membership on the channel, you could always do that as well by clicking the link in the description box right above the timestamps. But as always, I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah.